Hello all, welcome back to You Learn PEGA YouTube channel. So today we will discuss about how to create an application in PEGA, the framework layer application and the implementation application layer. In the last video we described about the situational layer cake. So in this video we will see how to build the applications. Okay, so for the time being I built two applications. One is on framework layer, loan app framework layer FW, and loan app, which is one is on implementation, but I can show you how to create it. So just go to this application and go to create new application, and here it will ask, as this is my cloud instance, it is asking for a blueprint. So let's see, in the upcoming videos we'll see what is the difference between the blueprint application and what is the difference between build manually application, what are the rules that are getting extra built in through Gen AI. We'll see all those things in the upcoming videos. In this video we'll explore these two options, which is build manual, which is one is from build from scratch and another one is from build from an existing application. So build from scratch means there is not at all any PEGA framework layers or PEGA UI kit or PEGA theme Cosmos. You're not using anything, simply you're building from scratch, where if you click this option it will ask you for a Constellation UI, and once you select this, that's it. It will just take your application name and it will create for you. And if you see in the advanced configuration, you have two types. One is framework implementation, and you can give your based on your application name, it will take the ID and it will create through the organization layers and division layers, whatever you use. This is what you can see when you build uh, through this build from scratch. I have one created application, which is nothing but this test app, which I created through this constellation like this. Let's see what are the rules that created while you're using the constellation. Okay, and this is one which is ideally we use for every scenario. So if you see, if I go to what type of application do you want, if you go to a drop down, it will ask for UI kit or constellation UI, which framework you want to use, or theme Cosmos, I think. Sorry, my spelling wrong. If you see theme clarity, theme Cosmos, what you want to use and all. Or else if you don't want to use anything, then you can switch back and you can create it from scratch, or you want to try to use UI kit, you can try using Constellation UI or UI kit and make it this application type. Let's say if I select this and if I create, for example, Constellation UI, uh, it will ask my application name, and in the advanced you can create a framework layer application and implementation application class, as we discussed in the last situational layer cake scenario. Okay, so if you see, I created this loan app framework layer using this framework layer structure. So let's see what are the roles that got configured, which is most important for all of us in. So if I go to my developer activity, and if you see here, if you see, there is application. Okay, uh, which is 6 minutes back, loan app FW. Okay, so let me select, there are few rule sets. Let me select my loan app or int and all. If you see here, so what are the things that got created? If you see, an application, loan app application framework application, and post that one loan app framework rule set and integration rule set, and the personas, users and managers got created, and the access role names. If you see, the access managers, users, PEGA API, user manager and administrator, one access role got created and one product got created. And this is one routing table, which is nothing but PY routing table, which got created. And if you see, and this routing table, and if you see loan app framework new application and loan app framework has also got created, if you see here. So these are all like, and if you go to the classes, loan app, this is my org name, and this is my framework hyphen fw loan app. This is my application name, and this is one class. Okay, this is one class, and UI pages is one class, and work class, int class, data class, and my, which is like a base class for my application. This is loan app fw, and my org class, which is like loan org hyphen int, loan org hyphen data, loan org hyphen framework. Okay, so let's take one class and explore like what exactly is there. Okay, if you go to your app explorer, so let me open the app explorer. Can't, just give me 2 minutes, let me try it. Okay, let me open from here. Right, yeah, let me open this one. It's trying to open. So this is what, once you create a framework layer, it will create like this, which is directly, if you see, this is a pattern inheritance, which is a direct inheritance parent class, which is directly inheriting from work hyphen cover. So we are all creating applications in work class. This is what we need to take care. And if you go to the loan app, which is a built on application on this framework layer. Okay, so let me now move to my dev studio and switch back to loan app. Okay, now let me go to configure application development. If I go here, so if you see here, if you see, loan app got created, my implementation application, my rule sets, loan app int, and my personas access roles, which is like administrator, security administrator, PEGA API, managers, user, and my product and routing table, application, and a skin is also got created. Okay, so let me show you the comparison between both of the things, like what are the rules that got created when you create a framework application, and what are the rules that got created when you do this one. Okay, so let me, what I can see is, okay, but before that, let me show you, this is what my classes got created. If you see, these are all my classes, and it's almost similar. If you see my org framework, which is my org data, which is already there like 1 year 8 months before. Okay, these are all like PEGA inbuilt orgs, and based on this org it got created this one loan app, because my loan app I created in different org implementation layer, but I need to, ideally it should be give the same org of the framework, but I just gave some other org. Okay, so this is what it got created. So let me go and select my application here. So yes, see, I selected my two applications. Okay, framework and my loan app. If you see here, loan app application, loan app rule set, loan app int rule set, users and managers of, let me do one thing. Let me do with this access role name initially. So let's see how many access roles names it got created. See, loan app users managed, loan app user, loan app manager, loan app manager. These are all related to my implementation layer until the security administrator. If I go to my framework layer, my users managed, which is there already, managers managed, which is both common, PEGA API is common, user manager is common, and this one, loan app framework administrator, which is different. If you see here, this is my access group that got created in implementation layer, and this is my access group that got created administrator in this one, in my framework layer. This is like if you say, if they ask like in tomorrow, it might be in interviews, they will ask like, if you try to build an framework layer and implementation layer things, what is the different type of rules you observe? Then you can say that one AR access rule which is different that got created in framework layer, which is my, if you see loan app FW administrator, framework administrator, which it will get create. But if you see the security administrator, which is one of the more, I mean, one of the uh, it is one of the more rule that got created when you do it in implementation layer. This is what you can easily find the difference in the access rules. And if I switch to my next thing, which is application, it's same like loan app one. Application, there should be nothing different. And if you go to the class, ideally it should create history class and your uh, organization class, UI pages class, and which is similar for both. Uh, so let me select personas, which is almost same. Users, managers, which it will create for personas. And if you go to product, it will create one product for this and one product for that. And if you go to routing table, which is similar again, if you see open routing table, it is similar. And if I go to rule sets, let's see the rule sets. One app and one int. One app, one int. If you see this loan app framework is one, and loan app framework int, which is one rule set. Okay, so this is what, and the organization's rule set which got created, a loan or int, my org int, which is organizations for both the applications. Okay, so this is what the rule set, and rule set versions. Anyway, it will create the rule set versions as well. Skin, and if you see skin, for both the applications, both skins got created. So if someone asks like, what are the types of rules that you can find in once the application got created in any type of application, then you can say that these are the main rules that will got created: access role name, application class, persona, product, routing table, rule set version, and skin. And if they ask like, what is the difference between the rules you observed once you created the framework and implementation applications on framework, on top of framework, then you can say that the major difference that I found is this what the if the access role name, where the security administrator, which is one more access that we are giving on the implementation layer, which is not there in framework. This is what you can say tell. And let me see, as I told you and promised, I will show you like I built, instead of build from scratch option, if you select by default the constellation we need to select, and it will make an application for us, right, without using the theme cosmos, UI kit, constellation, UI and all. So let me show you that one, how I built it, and what are the rules that got built. If I switch to my dev studio again, and if I go again here and let me open my application again, if you see here again, access role names, which is similar, users, user 4, user managed, PEGA API, security administrator, and sysadmin 4. See, this is the difference. So if you build from a scratch, this is the difference that you need to find. Okay, this is the what you can take if you build from a scratch the application. Okay, and if I go to application, it's similar, test app. And if I go to class again, my history class will get create, UI pages will get create, and the test app link and work class, we all know that int data, and the orgs int and the framework and test class. Okay, so this is what the difference you can see. And the personas is like similar, users only, there is no managers that got created. And if you go to product, one product will be there, routing table, one routing table will be there, and rule sets, int layer, int app int, and test app is my application, and the test rule set which got created, and test app int and test app int. So this is what the rule sets that got created. And rule set versions and skin. Let me apply skin as well. So this is my rule set versions that got created, and this is my skin that got created. And if you open this test, this is the rule set version in test new. Okay, if let me open and show you. um, Let me open and show you how this one, if I'm not wrong, how what are the components that is present inside the application. Okay, let's see what are the components present inside the application. We know, or like this is what the differences we found now, like uh, what are the rules that will create and all. But if I open, see, this is my built on applications. Okay, if I switch this thing to, let me say, this is a loan app which is my built on application on my framework, and this framework is a built on application on my PEGA UI kit. And if you open the UI kit, which is my PEGA rules where I will get from PEGA, and if you go to this components where you will have few components that you can reuse. I mean, for example, there are 5 integrations, and which is across helpful for everyone, then you can make it as a component and add the component application here. This is called ideally called as component applications, where we see mostly. And the skin you can use, in the skin, this one you can anyway, the skin rule will get create, which is particular skin for this application. And this application URL alias, which is most important. If you see this, why there is a, why this is needed, why this current why this one URL is needed, because you can open the different multiple applications in the same server, in the same browser. I mean, because before 7 dot version, I mean before in 7 version you can't do it like opening that in the same browser. So which is an add-on like feature PEGA got provided for this application URL alias, where taking the particular application you can access, you can try to log in and do it. That's it. For example, let me log into this. If you see here, let me log in. So it is asking, and let me log in with SSO. What, how you can do, see, it's saying you don't have access, because I don't have access to UI kit. I can't change the application, right, for the UI kit. The access group you should have. So let me open, this is my loan app, right? Let me open my loan app framework. Okay, and I will take my loan app framework, this loan app framework URL. Okay, so now I'm in loan app framework. Okay, this is my loan app. Okay, so what I can do is, this is my skin got created. I can change my URL as well if I need to change. Instead of loan app framework, what I can keep is, I can do this like this framework. Okay, I know, sorry for my bad, let me see it. Okay, okay, now let me copy this. See, changing the URL as will make externally published applications such as email links. If, I mean, it's not recommended to change the URL alias like once you build entire application. Why? Because it may impact into production servers and all, because the URL which is already we have given, right? So it's not recommended, but it's okay. If you are in a starting point, you can do anything. Okay, nothing is stopping for us. So this is a framework layer. Let me go to my loan app and go to my dev studio, open my application. So this is, I have access where I'm currently in loan app. Okay, if you see here, and let me open this framework, and this is my framework. Okay, if I change this, because I didn't save it, okay, don't worry, that's why it's not changed. So let me go to here and let me open the framework. See, you can open a framework here, and which is nothing disturbing here. See, that's how the PEGA introduces this application URL alias. We're in the same server, and this advanced one, during runtime, UI runtime, it what it's need to pick and all, and how the log of screen it should redirect to, how the log of redirection should happen. It should show log of screen, or it should redirect to login screen once the thread page has been closed and all. And you can select the application, base application, and the logo, what logo you want, you can do it. This is what. And if you see the development branches, application rule sets, you can see from framework in, framework and organization rule sets, and this is for framework. And if you see for the loan app, the similar way, app int and org int. Okay, and if you see, go to the cases and data, so you can attach your case types here related to your implementation layer, and the data objects and all, whatever is there you can add here, and what are the classes that got, or what are the classes that is there, you can do it here. Okay, and if you go to your application wizard, whether it should show in or not here, you can do it. Okay, and the documentation integration, which is a bit you can skip in the initial stages where we don't use a bit much. But if you go to the security, which is most important tab for us, see, let's say this is my framework layer. I don't want to anyone to edit my framework layer which I built. So you can go and you can ask for a password, required password, to update this application. And let's say I'm entering a password. Okay, so let me save this and let me see what will happen next. Okay, so let me say, uh, let me change something, might be. Okay, life hyphen 01, and see whether you are saving what is happening. See what it is saying: supply password to update, incorrect passwords you given. So let me give my thing and let me do a save. See, it got updated, and again the second time if to trigger, it will ask you for a password. Okay, which is very very important for us. See, incorrect password specified. So this is what, whether you want to update anything in the application, you need this framework. I don't want to change anyone, so then you can go with this framework layer. So this is what the major things that we can check on the framework layer and the implementation layer and the building from the scratch and building on the existing UI kit, theme, Cosmos and all. And these are the differences that we can see in the rules, what rules got created uh, in three of it. So this is what, team, uh, and thanks everyone for watching my video, and keep supporting me. Let me do few more videos, but definitely I will do a one video and I will show you what are the differences between when we import a GenAI blueprint into our PEGA app and the normal PEGA app. We'll see in few more videos. Thanks everyone for watching.